Good afternoon, class. My name is Luis Gonzalez, and today I'll be presenting on Cesar Chavez, an American civil rights activist. Cesar Chavez is a folk hero and a symbol of hope to millions of Americans. Cesar Estrada Chavez was born in Yuma, Arizona on March 31st, 1923. Cesar's father, Librado, and mother, Dorotea, were both born in Mexico. When Cesar was 12 years old, his family's homestead was foreclosed, and his family, along with more than 300,000 people, moved to California during the Great Depression to become migrant farm workers. Cesar eventually dropped out of school in 8th grade and began working in the fields full time to support his family. In 1946, he joined the U.S. Navy and served 2 years in a segregated unit. After his service, he married Helen Fabel and would eventually have 8 children. When Cesar's family first moved to Northern California, they struggled to stay afloat, which prompted them to move around a lot and Cesar to change schools many times. Cesar's ridicule from classmates due to his lack of financial resources, unfortunately, and he faced a lot of anti-Latino racism and sentiments that were rampant at the time. In 1952, when Cesar's service at the Navy, after Cesar's service at the Navy, he began working at a lumber yard in San Jose. During this time, he became a grassroots organizer for the Community Service Organization, or CSO, a Latino civil rights group that worked to register new voters, fight racial and economic discrimination. A decade later, he became a national director of the CSO. Eventually, he resigned in 1962, and after his resignation, he attempted to recruit other members to form a labor union for farm workers, but unfortunately failed. Thankfully, later that year, he used his life savings to found the National Farm Workers Association in Delano, California. Cesar knew firsthand of the struggles of the farm workers in California, which made it as little as 40 cents an hour, and most of them did not qualify for unemployment insurance, which is the purpose of why he decided to form the National Farm Workers Association. Cesar worked relentlessly to build the NFWA with fellow organizer Dolores Huerta as he followed around the San Joaquin and Imperial valleys to recruit union members. Excuse me. In September 1965, the NFWA began to strike against California's grape growers alongside the Agricultural Workers Organizing Committee, a similar Filipino-American labor group. The strike lasted 5 years and the boycott spread nationwide, and Cesar also led a 340-mile walk in 1966, as well as a 25-day hunger strike in 1968. By the 1970s, the grape boycott was a complete success. Table grape growers at a long last signed their first union contracts, granting workers better pay, benefits, and protections. In 1966, the National Farmers Association and American Workers Organizing Committee merged together to form the United Farm Workers of America. Throughout the 1970s, Cesar continued his effort to win labor contracts for farm workers across the country and continuing the same nonviolent techniques of strikes and boycotts. In 1972, he went on a second hunger strike to protest the Arizona law banning workers from protesting. In 1975, UFW's efforts helped pass California's Labor Relations Act in 1975. which gave all farm workers the right to unionize and negotiate better wages and working conditions. In the 1980s, Cesar's UFW efforts focused on the danger of pesticides for farm workers and their children. In 1988, he went on his third hunger strike, which lasted 36 days. Cesar passed away on April 23rd, 1993, at 66 years old. The following year, Bill Clinton awarded him the nation's highest civilian award, the Presidential Medal of Freedom. The main theme of Catholic social teaching that I think would apply to Cesar Chavez is the dignity of work and right of workers. Cesar Chavez's work in voluntary service for organizations was founded upon this theme of Catholic social teaching. Cesar was inspired by nonviolent civil disobedience pioneered by Gandhi in India and by Saint Francis of Assisi, the 13th century Italian nobleman who gave up his material wealth to live and work in behalf of the poor. Cesar, as someone who experienced the injustices of unfair wages, benefits, and protection and unfair protections for farmhands, devoted his entire life to fighting for the rights of workers. His religious values shine through his efforts, seen as such during the grape strike. During Cesar's 25-day fast, he urged members of the boycott to follow the nonviolence of the gospel and to turn the other cheek despite violence, intimidation, and harassment from opposing parties. In addition to end his 25-day hunger strike, on March 10th, 1968, Cesar received the body of Christ at an outdoor mass in Delano, California. The farm worker movement embraced a large portion of Catholic symbolism. And these are my works cited.